Down on my knees. You guys were upside down for a second. Take you there in the midnight hour. I can hear you. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe OMI everything update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello, Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smashing that super thanks button down below, super chats as well. We do have quite a bit to go over today. I'm going to have to go in and, who are these text messages from? I don't need to know that. Need to know that. We had a bit of news that I had to go over yesterday, and let's start with the OMI, shall we? We'll go over and take a look at the actual token, see what it's doing. Down about 10.5% today. Be like, well, Chavez, in your title, doesn't it say that there's a OMI legal victory? You know, what's going on? It's like, well, yes, I don't know how much people are really reading into that. And again, we really are only seeing a couple of the, so there's the whole PDF that you can download. And I'll get to that. And even though that's good news, it seems to be overshadowed by BitGet. So I'll go over and read a couple of things here real quick. Actually, there's a lot to read. Hold on. Let's go with Facebook. We have a post from a guy named Renee Arana, I believe he's called. He says, this is not good news. OMI getting delisted from BitGet, a top 20 exchange. I did not know they were a top 20 exchange, but apparently they were. Hits harder in the middle of a crypto bull market. Let's face it, why is this happening? And how can the project hope to land on bigger exchanges when it's being removed from the smaller ones? And all right, fair question. I guess there's a lot to go over here, but I'll go over this piece by piece. I'll read his blurb first. I'll go over my response, his response, etc. He says, predictably, the Moon Boys are saying it doesn't matter, but let's cut through the noise. It does matter. It sends a signal that it's impossible to ignore, especially for those of us who've been here investing weekly in collectibles for over 3 years. And let's be real, that level of dedication, it's rare. The only thing that's kept me this loyal is Krispy Kreme, and even they don't make me question my commitment like this. Here's the hard truth. What some dismiss as FUD is actually genuine concern. Concern for a project we believe in, a project that needs to do better. If no one had raised their voice about the lack of cash out option, would VeVe have delivered it? I'm telling you right now, that's bullshit. And I'm not saying you have to be an insider to know that. I'm saying that just logic will dictate. Hey, a lot of these brands that their consumers and constituents will want to have cash out. You think that they were probably pushing VeVe like, hey, let's release this, let's get this fixed. And I'm not saying it had nothing to do with the community saying like, hey, when cash out. But the majority of the use case had a lot more to do with licensors and not necessarily the people. Anyway, he says, and now, without true self-custody, without the ability to own our collectibles as real NFTs, how could we ever hope to earn respect from Web3 and crypto community? And what about OMI, the token that's supposed to underpin the entire ecosystem? If OMI isn't respected as a key part of Web3, the entire value proposition weakens. Without visibility and adoption on major exchanges, how can OMI achieve the liquidity, utility, and credibility it needs to thrive? You can't ignore the optics. When the token that represents the ecosystem gets sidelined, it undermines confidence in everything else, from the collectibles to the platform itself. Let's put this in perspective. Pudgy Penguins, a collection with only 10,000 NFTs, has a token with a market cap of 1.8 billion. Meanwhile, VeVe, with millions of collectibles and partnerships with the biggest IPs in the world, sits at just 110 million. This discrepancy screams for a deeper examination of what's holding VeVe back, and OMI deserves to be front and center in that conversation. This isn't negativity, debatable. It's advocacy. It's standing up for the vision we bought into, where our collections and OMI token are respected as true digital assets in the broader Web3 space. Anyone sees this as negative when they don't understand collectors, Web3, or what it truly means to own something in this space. VeVe needs to listen, adjust, and evolve just like they did before. We're not fudding, we're fighting. Fighting for the ownership, respect, and progress we were promised, and that fight is worth every uncomfortable conversation. So respect for putting it all out there. Let's read some of my responses here. So my first response is, Listen, guys, seems like OMI's dead. For anyone that wants to sell, comment down below, and I'll buy your OMI from you for a small discount. Nobody seemed to take me up on that. Renee comments like, Randy, OMI is not dead if VeVe makes some adjustments. But trying to be part of Web3 by being a Web2 closed app is not the way. So I say, I understand some people want certain things from Web3, but Hero, Recur, and other real Web3 companies had what people were asking for, and they failed. I feel like that either suggests or confirms that being Web3 is not the end-all be-all. None of my whales give a hoot about that. Big investors just care about the thesis of the company, revenues, and relationships with licensors. Renee comments back saying, I get where you're coming from, and you're not wrong. Web3 isn't the magic solution to everything. You and Recur had the tech, but failed to deliver value that resonates. However, let's not confuse poor execution with the concept itself. Web3 isn't the end-all, but it is a massive part of the future. It's debatable. It says, you mentioned whales caring about the thesis, revenues, and relationships with licensors. Completely agree. Let's be honest, your whales aren't as big as the ones in major NFT projects or crypto. The market cap difference between VeVe and other projects speak for itself. VeVe's IP and quality are leagues above Hero and Recur. You can't even compare them. VeVe is the best when it comes to big IPs, but here's the hard truth. They need self-custody to bring in real whales and collectors. Question is very serious, or the question every serious collector will ask is simple. How can I pay big money for a collection I don't truly own? Ownership isn't just a buzzword, it's a foundation for trust, value, and long-term growth in the Web3 space. Without it, VeVe risks alienating the very audience that could take them to the next level. Sure, the current whales might not care about Web3 principles, but future whales, they will. The next wave of collectors, investors, and partners will demand the standards that Web3 represents: true ownership, interoperability, and self-custody. Look at the success of projects like Pudgy Penguins, which embrace the principles while still delivering value. VeVe has the IP and the fan base. What's missing is the final piece that bridges trust with the Web3 community. Bottom line, Web3 isn't the whole story, but it's a crucial chapter. If VeVe truly wants to dominate, they need to evolve and embrace the ownership model that the market is moving toward. This isn't about being real Web3 for the sake of it. It's about earning the trust of collectors and building the future of digital ownership. Facts are clear. VeVe is positioned to lead, but without self-custody, they're leaving value and respect on the table. And the real question isn't whether it's necessary, it's whether VeVe will step up and seize the opportunity before somebody else does. So there's a lot to respond there. I didn't respond to all of it, but I'll read you what I wrote. And some of my whales are small, low 7 figures, but some are worth well into the 9 figures. The difference is not that they're not as degen as people in Web3. Sure, someone in Web3 can spend a few $100,000 on something like it's nothing. So do my whales. Difference is that ETH whales are spending a much larger percentage of their portfolios. Sometimes it's so large that they outspend my whales because my whales don't want to spend that much percentage of their portfolio. Again, some whales are bigger than others. I know Web3 seems big, but the space is still extremely small compared to normal physical collectibles. And your average Joe six-pack won't care for interoperability. I'm not saying that it won't help. It will, but you're forgetting that the NFT narrative hasn't hit yet. I'm sure that most people will be much quieter about this stuff when everyone's making money again. Pudgy Penguins are the exception, not the rule. Every one of these PFP projects have self-custody, and over 99% of them are worthless. You can't cherry-pick data and say, see, this one project did it, so VeVe should do it, while ignoring the tens of thousands of other projects that do the same thing but fail. Again, if there was a button to push that gave us interoperability, as long as it didn't upset the licensors, I'd press it. You have to understand that interoperability has to be approved by the licensor. And do you allocate resources to try and get the licensor to agree to something they don't want to do? Or do you allocate resources to things that will make them wildly more successful? Renee says, Randy, I appreciate your perspective, especially in the whales in the 7 to 9 figure range. That's impressive. But here's the thing. Web3, hang on one second. Nope, don't need that. That's impressive, but here's the thing. Web3 and traditional collectibles serve very different markets. Comparing them isn't apples to apples, it's apples to Metaverse. Yes, ETH whales may spend a larger percentage of their portfolios, but that's because they see momentum building in digital ownership. The ETH crowd is shaping the future, while traditional whales often remain tethered to the past. Projects like Cryptoys, which offer Disney IP and self-custody, show that interoperability and major licenses can coexist. Cryptoys can work with Disney, why can't VeVe? Licensor approval is key, but are we pushing hard enough? Imagine having your collectibles in major auction houses, for example, selling Amazing Fantasy 15 with special mint numbers, drawing traditional collectors and ETH whales alike. That kind of visibility could bring serious attention to VeVe and elevate the entire ecosystem, and is only possible with self-custody and interoperability. As for the Joe Sixpack not caring about interoperability, that may be true for now. When the narrative shifts, true ownership will be non-negotiable. Self-custody isn't just a feature, it's a requirement for long-term relevance and for real collectors who want to have control of their collection. Lastly, let's not rely on everyone's making money again argument. Best projects thrive in both markets by building trust, delivering value, and adapting to industry trends. Bottom line, if cryptoids can achieve self-custody with Disney, VeVe can do the same. It's not just about pushing a button, it's about pushing boundaries. VeVe's unmatched IP, the path to leadership is clear. The question is, will they take it? I have not responded to that, so let's go to this. It says, comparing isn't apples to apples, it's apples to Metaverse. I mean, it is Web 2 versus Web 3, and VeVe is in that kind of Web 2.5. They are NFTs. You can buy a decent amount of them with crypto. Are the ones that we want to buy Spider-Man, Darth Vader, Walt? Can you buy that with OMI? Not yet. Will we be able to in the future? If I were a betting man, I'd say yes. I don't think there's any timeline on that. But again, I wouldn't say it's apples to Metaverse. It's like, hey, we are Web 2.5. We do have a foot in the Web 3. But the majority of the money that people make really is in Web 2. It is like, again, most of these trillion-dollar companies here are, I mean, a lot of these companies are not even in this type of thing. A lot of these companies are, you have oil and gas companies, you have Tesla, you have, I mean, I guess Facebook has been, or Meta has been, they've been a trillion-dollar company before. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Next, he says, yes, ETH whales might spend a larger percentage of their portfolios. That's because they see momentum building in the digital ownership. Well, again, that's why a lot of my whales go in and see it too. They might not understand that Mark Zuckerberg is spending $25 billion a year on a metaverse, and they might not really 100% get the different passkeys and different wallets and all that, but they understand that this is the way that the world is moving, and that's why they're investing. But again, the difference between a lot of seasoned investors, that they never really put more than like 10% of their net worth into any one thing, maybe some 15 or 20%. Very few are the Elon Musk that go all in, you know, Elon Musk or any Chavez, feel like go all in on one thing. Very few of those investors are out there, as opposed to people in Web3, the degens. Every single degen that I know, like they have like the majority of their wealth like in this Web3, in this NFT crypto narrative. Even someone like Crypto Rain, who's I'm not going to say how much he's worth, but worth a lot more than me, has the majority of his funds in crypto. And he says, well, if the sun produces a solar flare and all of crypto goes kaput, he's like, well, I guess I have to get a job again. So again, and not that I'm calling Crypto Rain like a degen, although I feel like we all are in some sense. There's just a big difference between, hey, you made your money on ETH because whether you saw it ahead of time and you're really smart, or you just happen to get a little lucky, versus the people that have built their wealth in the real world over decades. So that's just kind of my response to that. It says projects like Cryptoids, which offer Disney IP and self-custody, show that interoperability and major licensors can coexist. Cryptoids can make it work with Disney, why not VeVe? Be advised that Cryptoids, again, very similar to Recur and to Hero, they have all this stuff. I think they have a marketplace now. They did not for a long time, but I think they do. Currently, again, they have one license. Oh, no, they have a couple licenses. I apologize, it's my mistake. They have one major license, and again, they're not really doing a ton with it. How much money are they making? Again, you have Recur that had awesome licenses, Hero, which had a great license and had a cool thing, but again, you have interoperability. What do you want to come from that? I know interoperability can be fun, and people can go and say like, hey, I actually own it now. They're real NFTs. But it doesn't really matter if the company that they umbrella they're under goes under. Because when they go under, like Recur or like Hero or Artifact or any of these things, like what happens to the NFTs? I'm sure that there's still some Hello Kitty NFTs, or there's some Rugrats NFTs, these 2D JPEGs that are likely worth a couple dollars. I'm sure that you can still get something for them, but again, what would you rather have? Would you rather have interoperability of a company that has horrendous capital allocation, or do you want your money and funds and stuff with a company that is really good at capital allocation? You just don't have that interoperability yet, which again, I know there's a loud minority of people that have this, and I'm not saying I don't want it. I think it'd be great. One, so I could stop hearing about it every day, but two, because then people are happy. The happier your constituents are, the better life is. Says licensor approval is key, but are we pushing hard enough? Again, when you have, let's say if you have two scenarios, which VeVe did, and they say, hey, we're going to dedicate a couple of months, a couple $1 million, this whole marketing campaign to push these licensors for interoperability. That's what the people want. That's one of their main things that they've always wanted. It'll fight a lot of the FUD, and we can do that, and it will benefit VeVe. Or they could say, hey, we're going to spend that same amount of time to work out this deal with Marvel to do VeVe Comics. Which one's going to make them more money? Which one is better for the long term? Again, I'm not saying that interoperability and being like pure Web3, or at least getting the interoperability, isn't something that I want. I do want it. But I think we have to be clear with ourselves on where that should fall on the priority list. When you have 8 different things that should rightfully fall ahead of interoperability because of the amount of money that VeVe can make, the amount that they can do in their war chest, the amount of marketing they can do from that, that is just a bigger thing, is more important. And I understand that some people, like, I'll read a whole thing about feelings later. But right now it's just, I get that sometimes the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And sometimes I think the team does address those, even when I think they shouldn't. But this is one of those things that will likely get some type of interoperability eventually. But when you have the ability to allocate resources elsewhere, that is going to be better for the company. What do you want? Do you want to win a bet where you win $5, or do you want to win a bet where you win $800,000? The choice is clear. The choice is obvious. He goes on to say, as for Joe Sixpack not caring about interoperability, that may be true for now. When the narrative shifts, true ownership will be non-negotiable. I mean, it's still negotiable right now. Like, if you have your money in a bank, is it yours? I mean, sure, it's technically yours, but if that bank goes under, what happens to those funds? Is it really yours? I mean, you might have ownership of your house, but what happens if you don't pay the taxes on that house? Well, I own it. You know, I bought it. Do you really? Again, if you don't pay taxes on it, they can take it back, even though you own it. So when he says true ownership will be non-negotiable, I mean, first, I think you have to define it. And then I wouldn't say it's non-negotiable. I'd say, like, it's the wrong question. The right question would be like, how many will care, and how many are going to be, how much money are we going to lose by not paying attention to it? I'm not saying we're not paying attention to it, but I'm just saying, like, how much money and people will we lose by not doing it, versus how much money and people would we not acquire by doing other things that are better for the company. So self-custody isn't just a feature, it's a requirement for long-term relevance and for real collectors who want to have control. I mean, who are real, like, I've spent more money on Pokemon cards than this guy has probably spent on, and I don't want to draw that line and say, like, well, real collectors actually spend this much. I don't want to make that. I mean, I feel like it's a really big claim for him to say, hey, what did he even say? So self-custody isn't just a feature, it's a requirement for long-term relevance and for real collectors. I mean, I'm one of the biggest collectors I know, and it doesn't matter to me. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't matter to anyone. I'm just saying that it should be. It seems like a lot of people are trying to put this on a high priority. I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over. But it says, lastly, let's not rely on the everyone's making money argument. The best projects thrive in both markets by building trust. Okay, well, what other company or NFT platform have you seen that's been doing this and is still relevant? I'm again, maybe Cryptoys. I don't know how much they're necessarily relevant. I like the CEO. I think there's some things that VeVe has done now because of Cryptoys. Like, again, Cryptoys has that amazing box opening thing. It's really fun, it's really cool. And now VeVe has a little, every time you buy something, they have a little, they have a little celebration. They have confetti come down, which I think is awesome. And now, can I credit Cryptoys for that? Not definitively, but can I say like, oh, hey, this happened after they put up, maybe. So again, I'm not trying to talk trash about other companies. I'm just saying that it's not necessarily going to matter for our bags. And speaking of bags, let me read you something here that a buddy of mine had wrote. If I can find it. There's so many messages here. Community in the past. So a buddy of mine said that he holds a few moonbirds, and the community had been complaining for quite a while and going buck wild because the prices were continuing to drop. All the same complaints for the most part that you hear about VeVe and OMI. You didn't deliver X and you didn't deliver Y. Suddenly, in the past month, their prices go from 0.29 ETH up to 1.3 ETH. And suddenly the community's happy again. They literally did not deliver a single new thing or a single new plan, and yet the community is suddenly bullish on moonbirds again. Crypto is full of hype. One thing VeVe and OMI isn't is just a bunch of hype. They're the real deal and are building something stronger than the vast majority of crypto projects out there. Time will come. It's not a matter of if it hits this bull run, it's when. I agree 100%. Where was the... So again, I understand Cryptoys has that self-custody, and he brings that up again. I think that'd be cool if Disney kind of gave that ability, as long as they could put in the smart contracts or somewhere like, hey, as long as you sell this elsewhere, we still get a royalty. That's fine, whatever they want to do. But as far as it being high on the priority list, I don't think it should be. But again, just my opinion. Let's go over... Okay, OMI falls despite legal victory. Okay, so let's see. Again, yeah, it's 3,996 right now, down about 10% again on the day. This is BitGet, I want to say, for the most part. As much as I've, like, yesterday before the announcement, the amount of OMI that was transacted on BitGet as far as volume was less than 2% of on average of the daily volume. Now, let's see, 950,000 in volume today. So 1% would be 9,500. Guarantee you it's not that. 8,237. So it's less than 1% now. And I remember looking at it before, it was like less than 1/2 of 1%. So I understand that we want to have more exchanges as opposed to less. But if there's any exchange that could delist us, I'd say BitGet is like the perfect one, because the amount of trading volume is less than 1%. Normally it's above 1%. It's like 1.5%, but it's still a negligible amount. And I think that is kind of made up for with the 5 renegade exchanges that we did get listed for last week. But anyway, so that kind of has been outshining the legal victory. So Dorian_OMI says, legal victory in sight for Orbis blockchain technologies. MB Technology sued Orbis in New Zealand, alleging the breach of their 2018 agreement by issuing 3.8 million shares instead of the agreed 3.3 million, diluting more MB Technology's ownership. MB Tech demanded compensation, but has faced major setbacks in court. One is court rejections. The judge denied MB Technology's late attempts to introduce new claims and expert evidence. Subpoenas targeting Ernst & Young for documents and testimonies about Orbis's valuation were dismissed as abusive. Then you have privileged communications protected. Emails from 2020 settlement talks were ruled confidential and inadmissible, strengthening Orbis's position. 3, costs awarded to Orbis. MB Technologies must reimburse Orbis for costs related in the invalid subpoenas, signaling judicial support for Orbis claims of fairness. This case underscores the importance of clear contracts with swift legal action. The MB Technology struggling to present a strong case, and the court consistently ruling in Orbis's favor. The odds are stacking up for a victory. A win for Orbis may not only solidify its business standing, but also boost confidence in OMI's future. Bullish moment ahead. Let's see. I've had friends that were, I don't know if it's anything ever this big, but things that were not this big, and the court fees were well into the 7 figures. So I'm going to say for something like this, which seems to be much bigger than anything me or my friends were ever a part of, the legal fees are probably in the 7 figures. So that's really nice. Then you also have underneath that, you have somebody saying, if that's true, why would BitGet delist the token now? I to be honest, I don't know. But BitGet, it's not just delisting OMI. I went over this yesterday. BitGet is also delisting GPTV, Rosa, Andy, Kai, Parm, Schwab, Spurs, Baby, Grok, Abel, Chat, Avakin, Bobo, CatDog, Mand, Mungie, MSN, AIT, AL, Baby Bonk, Bach, Bicity, Civitix, DeFi, Ego, EML, Gcake, GLQ, Gummed, Grape, Leash, LST7, MMIT, MNTC, OMI, obviously, Pew, Pidgeota, Pip, RBN, Reef, ROG, Time, Soul, Ubixus, Vela, VGX, and VRA. I'm going to guess they were just citing just low volume, and that's why. Somebody else says, if you had to guess, do you think this is the main reason why VeVe sort of distanced themselves from the token? Dorian says 100%. And then you have, I think, VeVe Meister, who also made a quick post about this as well. Der VeVe Meister, I love him. Where's he at here? Much faster a few weeks ago, 43, Christmas, yep. Love it. Where'd you go, VeVe Meister? Okay, here he goes, and he says, MB Technology versus Orbis Ecomi update. The New Zealand High Court has ruled on several pre-trial motions, clearing the way for the 3-week trial that began on November 25th, 2024. Key points. MB Tech's bid to add new claims denied for being too late. Evidence disputes. Subpoenas were set aside with indemnity costs awarded to Orbis. Privileged communications will remain excluded. Trial will now focus on the core issues like share title retention and damages. While this is a big step forward, any ruling could still be appealed by either party, so stay tuned for updates as we follow this long-running case. $OMI. So that wasn't a huge update. Let's see if there's any. Kaki Gaijin says, make it simpler so the derp could understand, saying, court said no to new stuff MB wanted, some secret stay secret, and Orbis gets cash. I'll just talk about who keeps the shares and who owes what, but they can fight about it again later. We'll keep you updated. So that was a nice little thing. Ooh, who is this? The latest version of this post, court rejections. Oh, okay, I already read that. That's from somebody else. I didn't know who that was. Anyway, moving on here. Where was I? We got an email, or people got an email today saying the holidays are here and we couldn't let the season pass without thanking you for making this community so extraordinary. Your passion for collecting and celebrating what you love inspires us every day. Spread a little festive cheer. We've left a special surprise in your collection. A little thank you from everyone here at VeVe. Log into your VeVe account and visit your collection. While you're in a festive mood, don't miss the Coca-Cola Christmas ornaments drop happening soon. The iconic Coca-Cola bear drops on Saturday, November 21st at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This showed that you had about 85,000 people because there's multiple ways to get these. The Diamond Christmas Tree digital collectible is a heartfelt tribute. Again, the Diamond Christmas one was level 75 to 99 collectors, honoring the dedication and support within the VeVe community. Celebrate the festivities with a special token of appreciation. Rares were given to level 50 to 74. I got one of those. Ultra rares were given to 75 to 99. Secret rares were given to level 100. There's like 38 of those. One of them sold for 5K before, which was bananas. And then basically what this showed, like there were commons that were given if you just were active this year. Like somebody posted that they had like 10 collectibles and they got one because they were just active this year. And there was about 85,000 active wallets this year. So I know you have about 12, 15,000 per month. Obviously you have some overlap with that, but 85,000 this year, is it a far cry from like the hundreds of thousands we had a few years ago? Yes. but that's still really not bad. And I'll also tell you why. So there was a comment on my post before. I'll go and read that for you, and then I'll give the response. Going off and saying, I haven't seen more users lately with these drops. And I don't know where they're looking, but as of 2 weeks ago, we had days where we had less than 1,000 active users. In the past, 10 days, we have not had any day where we had less than 2,400 active users. We had December 15th, my birthday, December 13th, December 12th, and December 10th, where we had less than 3,000 active users. And then on the 16th, the 17th, and the 14th, we had more than 3,000 active users. On the 11th, the 18th, and the 19th, we had over 4,000 active users. The 19th was actually really close to 5K. It was 4,949. So the active usership is growing, which I really like. On 1,249 people on average go in and put in a new promotional code to enter each week. We had 1,688 in the past week. There was very few people this week that made their first purchase. On average, you have... Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. 13. So 13 made their first purchase versus 65 in the past week. I was always along the lines that I thought 30 people per week had made their first purchase, each week, but now it's saying 13. Either way, 65 users made their first purchase this past week, which I thought was great. Accumulation on VeVe. For information collected, I actually don't know how to read this. Is that, and I don't know if these are from whales or if these are from top 500. I'll save that for another time. But the top 500 did gain obviously a lot more this past week. You now need 1,680 collectibles in order to be in the top 500. I'm about to be kicked out of the top 500 soon. Going down. Shout out to Riley Pie for his level 63. Finally has 1 million MCP points, which is wild. Corey T says, just talked about this on Comics and Crypto. The reason major IPs matter is because somewhere along the way they were used to tell a powerful story. If the path forward for the DCU under James Gunn is story focused, I'm here for it. We'll interview in the comments. I really hope that's good. I really hope that's a good story. Detective Kun Kun has reached level 80. Shout out to Detective Kun Kun. There was a little... This is so stupid. Go over that. Yeah, what do you want for next year, active users? If Ben wanted to go in and he said 4x it, you go from 85,000 active users, 4x from that would be, what, 330,000 active users? Yeah, that's what I would do. No, it's 340, I'm sorry. 340,000 active users. I think that's fine. But I also would like to be more consistent week to week and day to day. So instead of he's already done some of it. I don't know how much of that was evolvables. Because when you have a really big drop, cool, you have a big drop, and you have a bunch of people come on that day, and then that's it. And then you have these whatever drops the next few days, or you had days where you have no drops, and then you really don't get a massive amount of users until the next big day. But with the evolvables it's really brilliant because you have a massive amount of users that first day, about the same amount the second day, because they're going from the common to the uncommon, and then the same thing for the rare. You might even have the same amount of users go in for the ultra rare. Obviously, not everyone's going to get it. And even when you do have something like that, you're going to have a steep drop off on the 5th day because there's so few secret rares are able to get. There's been a lot of people that have said hey, the app doesn't work as well as the old one, or you have the, on the web app. But either way, there'd be some comments. Yeah. But I think that's one of those things that Ben's done really well so far. where somebody, again, you could have 8 different people looking at an equation, and they say, like, I don't see it. They get one look at from an outside perspective, and then once the outside once that outside perspective comes in, like, oh, I see it. It's right here. You just didn't see it because you guys were looking at it one way for too long. Make that announcement. So again, how much of it was because of Ben Rose? How much of it was because of the evolvables? Obviously, evolvables was something that they had thought of, but Ben going and saying, like, hey, this isn't just a cool gimmick. This is just a cool game, although it is. Like, this is a way that we can get active users coming to our app every single day. Like, we can extend one drop and we can get them coming back every single day for multiple days. And I'm not saying it's without much effort, because you had to code it into the app. You had to go in and code and say, like, hey, we can do X, Y, and Z. But again, the active daily users, when I was reporting on this, like weeks ago or months ago, there were plenty of days where we had under 1,000 active daily users. But it's been a couple of weeks now where we haven't had a day where we had below 1,000 active users. It's again, in this past, what was it? In this past 10 days, there hasn't been anything below like 2193 active users on there. So I think that's pretty powerful. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm making a mountain out of what essentially should be a molehill, but I really like that fact. Moving on here. This is not my Christmas tree, but I want it to be. It looks really awesome. Oh no, I got these scars. I can't do that. Okay, so I guess a little bit from news from Decat. On the VeVe Comic, I've told y'all before, the VeVe Comics Curator Program, once that is unleashed, I'll do whatever it is I need to do in order to get on that. It is going to be for the Decat community. And it's not just a story about like Decat and I'm a character in there. It's going to be about a lot of meme worlds, a lot of meme tokens and communities. So it's a lot of really dynamic characters. But before I get into that real quick, new piece of information did come across my desk saying we have 5.5x logged in users since September. I mean, I don't know if that's quarter to quarter or month over month. I'm gonna say quarter over quarter, but since September we've had 5.5 times the amount of users log in, which is bananas. So in Ben we trust. Anyway, on that common curator program, regardless of how much it costs, regardless of what let's say, well, we don't just want to do one comic. We want to make sure you have some stuff in the pipeline. The first one's pretty much already written. I have ideas out for the next 10 comics. But the idea is for Decat to take over the world as the greater bull market takes hold. I will rebalance some of my own personal portfolio for more Decat buys. I will tease the heck out of the comic as VeVe Comic Curator Program comes out. We will likely have a successful launch of the comic. And the goal is to sell out of the digital comic within a week. Hopefully we can do it sooner. Hopefully we do it on the first day, but I'd give it a week. Get enough traction for us to do a Decat drop on VeVe. Maybe if it's super popular and so people want more, they have a ton of transactions, we have a ton of higher prices. I think that might be possible in the future. And then charge people an arm and a leg to become characters in the second comic. And again, I have ideas out for the next 10. So that's a little bit of a roadmap for Decat right now, at least for where I can take it. There's obviously other people doing other things. There's a trailer for a movie that Pro the Doge is going to put on his. Oh my God, it looks really cool. And be advised, the movie and the comic are two totally different stories. But well, Chavez, the same characters. Yes, there are a lot of the same characters, but a lot of it is just they're just going to take place in different universes. You know how like you have like the Batman with Robert Pattinson, and then you have the Justice League. Like they're the same character, but they're different universes, severely different universes. One where the actor works out and takes the role seriously, Ben Affleck, and then another where the person doesn't and just doesn't work out at all, just bringing disgrace to his name, Robert Pattinson. Oh, sorry. Anyway, VeVe Digital Collectibles post about the Christmas tree, saying festive spirits in the air today, VeVe fam. Santa's elves are hard at work delivering Christmas trees. Quick note, the tree you receive may not match your rank, but it reflects your overall MCP level. Curious? Question mark. Check out the description under your tree to learn more about the alignment with your MCP level. Happy holidays from the VeVe fam. I wonder if they're gonna do like what's it called with the Hanukkah with the menorah. I wonder if they're gonna do those as well. They have like a Kwanzaa thing. There's so many things that they could do. We'll see. Supposed to underpin. What is it? Okay, yep. Save that. Save that. MetaMask. Oh yeah. So you have Wes from Web3. Wes Web3 is 74,000, almost 75,000 followers over on X, going out and saying, "Today I'm unveiling my secret weapon for meme coin mastery. The Light app has become my go-to platform, especially for trading on the Base network. It offers a user-friendly interface with advanced features, making it perfect for both newbies and seasoned traders. I've been recommending Bolide to all my friends because it just makes meme coin trading so much easier. Right now, they even have a crappy trading competition with a $2,000 prize pool. Link down below for the crappy address. Beyond that, Bolide is constantly giving back to its users with awesome giveaways. Looking for simple, efficient, rewarding way to trade meme coins, check out bolide.fi. And again, the crappy address down below. We'll do a giveaway for that after I'm done with the news. Ooh, I've been going on for 40 minutes already. Sorry about that. All right. Daily user skyrocket, legal victory. Okay, so we did that. Did I mention anything in the title of this? Hey everyone, surprise gift VeVe gave out. Okay, I was getting more active users. Send them a bit of recent news. Ask me anything. Okay, cool. Then we have Mr. MC1 going and posting. Thank you for the lovely Christmas gift. I love it. What a brilliant way to engage the community with decorating the Christmas trees with some lovely ornaments and toys. Oh, I did not even see that it was decorated with the VeVe stuff. It'll show how much I looked at it. One of the things I was talking about a friend with, catching up with him before, kind of calls me every now and then, or texts me every now and then. It's like only negative stuff. It's like, hey, Randy, what do you think of this piece of news? Is this bad for the token? And it's like, a lot of times, and this is how effective some like Twitter trolls are. Like other people will seek that out, will seek like the negativity out as opposed to like the positivity. So, it works. But it says like, what do you think of this? And a lot of times it's just news with a very, very negative sentiment and like a little tiny bit of truth in there, and the rest of it is just assumptions or just lies. But he gives me a call today with another buddy of his, like, hey, we started the year at, 0008. We're going to end the year, it looks like, at 0003. Can you tell me like what's going on? What's on the horizon for the token? So just as someone that doesn't really, I'm his version of keeping the pulse on the finger on the pulse. I'm going to say, well, you do have to notice that there has been a couple of pumps, some very recently, up to 0007 and beyond. Now it comes back down from that. Many guesses as to why. And then he's like, well, why bring that up? And I'd say like, well, it's happening that way just because of the fact that you say it's going to be in the 0003s at the end of the year, but 2 weeks, week and a half, 10 days in Web3 is a very long time. Anything can happen one way or the other. And I did say that even though you could be in the 0007, 0008s by the end of the year, yeah, something can happen, negative piece of news, whatever, where you're actually in the low threes or even the 0002s again. A lot of times what crypto doesn't make sense. But as far as stuff happening in the future and what to look forward to, we do have Stacker rolling out, and I have to give a brief overview about what Stacker was, in case anyone here that's pretty new about it. It's just a third party kind of built by Dr. Profit and his team, going over to say like, hey, what we're doing here is we're allowing people to buy and sell collectibles with the OMI token. They have it with a couple of cool brands right now. I think Tokidoki's probably, well, I guess VeVe should be my favorite, but Tokidoki's probably the one that is really fun for me because I have a lot of those. And then outside of that, right now it's in that live beta testing, but next year in Q1, could be early Q1, could be late Q1, I have no idea. They'll roll out their full Stacker model, and they're likely going to have other IP in there. Which ones are they? I don't know. Even if they roll out with just like 2 or 3 new ones, that doesn't mean that we won't have 4 or 5 newer ones after that coming down the line, days, weeks, months later, etc. But I said with that, you're also going to have VeVeVerse. supposedly in Q1. I don't know what month. Could be January, could be March, anywhere in between. Let's say it is Q1. Bear with me for right now. We've seen bits and pieces of it in the showroom. We had Mr. Falco. We had all of these people coming in and saying like, "Hey, we have a bunch of here's what you're allowed to show." And then obviously you have people that have NDAs. They'll all be lifted when they're able to roll this out. You have lights, you have plants, you have couches, you have whatever you're going to have in there that you'll be able to buy with OMI, and that OMI will get burned. Now, how much of that, like, are we going to get that right away? I don't know. But if we do, then that's just even more of a reason for people to go and have OMI, because that's the only way you'll probably be able to get some of these things. And you might not even have to go out and buy it. You can, if you want to. Stacker makes that very easy. But you'll be able to go and say like, "Hey, I have some certain things. I could sell it for OMI," and then go and use to purchase that in the store. Again, the game Among Us was one of the most popular games in history, and it was free. But what they had was microtransactions. And microtransactions for VeVe, like whether you want, say they have like Quid toilet paper or like Recur toilet paper, that'd be amazing. Or they could just have like a VeVe, couch. That'd be great if they had a casting couch. They're not going to do that, but that'd be awesome if they did. Nickelodeon had that orange couch. I think VeVe could have their own couch. And again, I'm just saying couch. It could be any type of furniture that you'd put, footstool, whatever it is. You should be able to go in and decorate your spot. And if you can decorate your spot with stuff like that, that just kind of gives me that hint that, okay, there's a use case for it. It's going to burn. This will be cool. Anyway, let's move on here. Question becoming known. Yep. Okay, so there's this guy named Comic Book Investments. He has a decent following on YouTube, has about 19,000 followers. I have a decent photo of him. And he has a video out that says VeVe/NFTs are dead. And he goes in and he posts a little clip in there that shows an article from, I don't know where it's from. It's by Anna Carton, and it's fairly recent, at least this year. It was released 21 September 2024, and it says, "Welcome to the afterlife. 96% of NFT collections considered dead." Honestly, I think that number's a little low. I wouldn't be surprised if like 98 or 99% of NFT collections were considered dead. My guess would have been actually like higher. Anywho, so he goes on. I guess he had made a video in the past about VeVe, and I guess I think it was in 2022. Apparently, it was very negative, and this is a follow-up video that he's doing, saying like, "See, guys, I told you. I made the video when NFTs were dying. I tried to warn you, and now NFTs in general are dead. 96% of them." And then he goes on, and I think it's a Wolverine comic that VeVe had posted. And Chavez, why are you bringing this guy up? Well, I don't know this guy. I never heard of him, but I listened to like 6 minutes of the video. I don't know anything about him. He could be a nice guy. He could be cool, and just maybe I think he has a horrendous take. So I go on and I say, "Hey, I have a daily show I do. A lot of it is centered on VeVe. You should come on for an interview." And then I emailed him. He emailed me back. Oh, he just emailed me back. He says, "Sounds interesting. Could I have some more information about your channel and what we'd be talking about? What is your YouTube channel name? How long would this be? In person, via online video?" I could go on and should do it with, let's send him one from Sleeping Comics, right? Live Soup podcast, because Sleeping was on the podcasts, and we'll send him that. Let's go to Sleeping's video here. I'll share, copy. So I'll hit reply all. "Hey, thanks for the response. I'm actually live right now talking about you. All good things, all good things." I don't know if there's really all good things, but all good things, all good things. I outside of the podcast, I have a show that is largely, we're learning today, we're spelling largely, centered around VeVe. I saw a part of your video today, and I don't know if I just, all right, it was largely centered around VeVe. But our interview would largely focus on you. Just what you're like as a person, how you got into collecting, which comics we both like, probably a discussion about the MCU, James Gunn's DCU universe, and then I'd of course like to touch on VeVe as well. My interviews are always live, and I do them via StreamYard. I'm assuming he knows what that is, and I do them via StreamYard. Here's an example of a podcast I did with someone else who thoroughly enjoys comics as well. Paste that. I was like, feel free to look at my other lives and playlists as well. Very nice. So yeah, more on him. So I have a daily show. I do a lot of center on VeVe. You should come on for an interview. And honestly, like I've said to many of y'all before, I don't really do gotcha journalism. I do want to ask them, like, hey, first off, like if you're into comics, like we're gonna have stuff to talk about. But I also just, again, I assume a lot of his, if he does interviews, I don't know if he does, they would probably ask him, like, pick his brain on comic knowledge and stuff. But I want to know him. I want to know about the setup. I want to know about his upbringing, his family, how he views love and aliens, and what his biggest risk was, and what was the biggest risk that both paid off and the biggest risk that did not pay off, and what he learned from both. Again, I have no idea who this person is, but the way it seemed in the video is that he had a perspective, and obviously I disagree with most stuff that I saw. Again, one of the things that we can both agree on is that most NFTs are trash. Most NFTs, again, that 96%, I'd say probably like 98, 99%, if not high. But then there's different types of companies that do different types of things. Like, for example, actually, while we're on this here, let's go to my live here real quick. And if y'all can smash that like button. Free way to help support the channel, not free ways. Patreon special, super thanks button down below, super chats as well. Let's go there. Let's go there. Get out of that. There was a. Oh, I didn't. Okay. There was a post today by WhaleFud saying, breaking. Richard Schuler, widely known as Richard Hart, the founder of Hex and PulseChain, has now been listed on the European Union's most wanted page. For the purpose of avoiding tax, Schuler faced to observe a statutory duty pertaining to the taxation that is of significance in the assessment of tax. Schuler failed to file business tax returns for the tax multiple years and also failed to complete information on his income on his pre-filled personal tax returns. Schuler received income from his business or income-generating activities that he should have declared to the tax administration for the purpose of tax assessment. Total amount of tax avoided is counted in hundreds of millions in euros. Schuler physically, I don't have a link to this. I don't know if this person would go in and post this if it wasn't true, but here's what it says. Schuler physically assaulted a 16-year-old victim by grabbing their hair, dragging them into the stairwell, and knocking them on the ground. While the victim was lying on their back on the floor, Schuler punched them 4 to 5 times in the face, nose, eyes, and head area. Schuler caused the victim to suffer pain, broken facial skin, bleeding, and swelling in the facial area. In addition, the victim's clothes were covered in blood. Unclear if that's a boy or a girl, or if it's in Europe. It doesn't matter. It could be that person could be a they, them. He is also listed on Interpol, so it is not just Europol, it is Interpol as well. That is the thing right there. Whale Fud says, I warned everyone a year ago about it. You have a couple of people that go in, and again, why do I bring this up? Because like I said, you have people with certain perspectives. I was in a X Spaces with him like 2 years ago, and we were just talking about, he mentioned that he doesn't trust any other crypto token. He doesn't trust any crypto unless he created it. He's like, if you're investing in anything outside Hex, like maybe Bitcoin, maybe. And I was like, well, you have other companies that are doing like real world stuff, like Ethereum. Like a lot of stuff is built on Ethereum. And I said, like, even like the new OMI token, that's, on, I don't even know if we were on Immutable X, but like the new OMI token's on Immutable X. It licenses like Disney and all this. So like, I feel like there are other things that are okay to invest in. And when he goes and he says like, okay, well, you're going to get rugged. And what happened to Atari coin? I actually don't know what happened to Atari coin. I never really looked into that. But he's like, well, listen, call me in a few years when they rug you, because you're going to get rugged. And clearly this dude is not a paragon for what anyone should do in business. Rip to all of those people that have believed. And I guess he's got a, yeah, I don't know if there was a list of people that was like, oh, Randy got served in this. And it's like, well, I'm not going to laugh at anything, but I'm going to say like, I feel like the person whose life will be better in the next couple of years is probably going to be mine. Matt Stefanina has 212,000 followers over on the X, has gone on and said, if a project like Artifact, backed by Nike, can shut down, what makes you think smaller projects with far less funding won't face the same fate? I expect to see more projects following the same path soon. It's sad, but it's the harsh reality of the space. The projects that will survive and thrive long-term are those that kept building during the bear market. No excuses. They understood the challenges of the market at rock bottom, yet still raised funds, built their vision, and executed consistently. I don't understand building through the bear, only to walk away as NFTs start to go crazy again. Other projects teed up to make a comeback? Well, obviously VeVe, but can I even go in and be like, oh, well, the VeVe for one, their hashtag VeVe app has everything from Batman to Superman to Spider-Man to Walt Disney as collectibles. The revenue they generate is incredible, and their OMI token, I think, is super undervalued and will be able to help them shine more light on the company. Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of boring you guys with all the the stuff that I have to type out and whatnot. Anyway, where was I? Oh, that's the list of, okay. All right. Can't go over that. I'll bring that up at some point. Oh, I've been going on for how long now? Almost an hour. Yeah, I'm gonna say that I have to be done here. Let's go over. Yes, let's go over some comments, shall we? Butterby Coleman says, "What legal victory?" So I went over that in the. There's a thing with MB Technologies and Orbis, and it seems like Orbis is winning. I always thought, good evening, Omar. Omar's always coming in with the alpha, always coming in on stuff. BB Zombie says, Randy, I love the new branding. Shout out to VeVe France, or Prita. Love her. She's Bay. She's not my Bay. We're not. It's just I call everyone Bay. Yeah, she's the one that helps me with some of those stats. Bill Gardner says, "Let's get it." I was slightly late. I was late, but 1 minute. 1 minute. The Mashishi says, "Hi, Randy. Oh, a hero, architecture, history, art. Love it, love it." VV Zombie says, "Yo, what up, Zombie? How's it going, fam? Hope you're all doing well." Bean Tech says, "Hello, what up, Bean Tech? Love that little. Oh shoot, what is that? Is that a spaceship? Is that a beam? Let me know." Dystopia says, "Hit the likes. Yeah, everyone, you can smash that like button. It's a free way to help support the channel." Jamar Reese saying, "Hello, what up, Jamar? What do you have going on? Oh, is that the? Oh, I don't know. It says Black Sand, the 7. I can't read that on 2, but it looks cool. Let me know." Casual saying meow. What up, Casual? How's it going? Glad to see you hopping in over from X. Very good. Very good. Ah, thank you. Thank you. Far too kind. No question says, how do we know the lawsuit is done? Again, there's a whole PDF there that you can go and download. I think BB Meister has that link. That's something that I don't know if it's done. If there's other stuff, I think there's other stuff to happen, but I don't want to talk about stuff that I don't really know facts about. But as OMI gets 99% down, then is it still alive? So I went over this. I think yesterday. I go over it like every now and then, but yesterday I went over a phone call that I got maybe like a month or 2 ago, within 2 months. And the person on the other, it was the same person I actually talked to today. It was the same person that said, Randy, no, this isn't a cell phone. This is my Mudo. This is my my Mudo thing for the Mudo app over on Apple, the App Store or Google Play. You can go in and get not a free, you can go in and get a genetics and epigenetics test over there, and they do not sell your info. They will if you want them to, though. Shout out to Mudo for sponsoring the chat. Anyway, they go and he gives me a call a few months ago. Says, "Hey, Randy, I see other stuff going up. I don't know if it's before or after the election, but you see other stuff going up, and OMI just continues to go down, man. Like I know you're really bullish, and I know that you like this project, but at what price point do you consider that you were wrong?" And I love and hate that question. I love that question because I get to give the response, but I hate it because that's not a legitimate question. The correct question would be like, at what point does the company make decisions that are so wrong that you second guess your position and you start to sell? Like, at what point does the company make such horrendous business decisions and capital allocation in marketing that you just decide like, hey, this is not worth it anymore, and I can make more money doing X, Y, and Z? That would be a better question. Because as long as the thesis of the company remains the same, as long as they have revenues, as long as they continuously get partnerships and licenses, they don't even need to go in and get more stuff. Now, would we like to have more? More is always better. Yeah, I want Nintendo. I want anime. I want everyone wants sports. They want music. We all want Pokemon. That would be huge. So obviously you want more, but just on what VeVe has already, they likely have hundreds of millions, not billions of dollars of untapped revenue that they could cash in on. I'd tap that revenue. So the price point is just really, it's undervalued, and it doesn't really matter what it is. I mean, it does in terms of stacking. Like, okay, well, if it goes down to 0001 and you can get 1 million OMI for $100, I will sell absolutely. I'll sell like 80% of my other positions, and I'll just load up on OMI at that point. So again, the price doesn't matter because the company is continuously making money. They're continuously going over, and they're winning over licensors that have, I don't want to say no business being in Web3, but most other companies in the world are not in Web3. But VeVe's continuously becoming the place that you want to go to. Like if let's say I'm Bailey's, right? And I want to make NFTs and I have no idea how to do it. And you hire someone. Let's say you hire Randy Chavez like a consultant. They're like, okay, well, you want to do a 10,000 PFP project? And you go and you say, okay, the first 100 people to buy this get free Bailey's for life. And what they mean by that is they get, one bottle per quarter for life. And then the next 400 people that buy it, they get one bottle, for free. And the next 500 after that, they get like whatever that you want to do. I would say like, hey, you do this, you get discounts. You get multiple, you get the discounts can stack. Whatever it is, I would give them something where they have like utility for it. I would give them something where great token, but why go in and spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars trying to do your own thing when you could just go onto VeVe where they've pretty much perfected like there's no shortcut. Like VeVe is the shortcut for other companies to have a successful NFT launch. And even if like Bailey's is a pretty big company, I don't have anything here that like, let's say like Decat. Part of the reason that I'm not charging for writing, like, and I'm a very good writer. Part of the reason why I'm not charging Decat for writing this is because I know that once Decat gets on to the VeVe Comics, the comic curator thing, there's going to be people that are going to discover the Decat comic that would have never discovered them before. Because they're in the biggest shopping mall in Web3 on the NFT markets. And people that are going to come on to look for the newest issue of Squirrel Girl or Amazing Spider Boy, like pick your poison. Like you have so many different things. They're going to go in and come on for one thing, and they're just going to browse. Like that's what happens. Like I don't know how many of you like remember malls, but like sometimes you don't even go in for one thing. You just go to browse. You go to window shop, and then you do something that you shouldn't. You take out money, and you go and you get it. And they might see something like that, and they're like, okay, you know what? This seems really cool. Heard other people talking about it. It's awesome. So again, the price doesn't really matter as far as what the company does and is it still alive. So I'm glad you asked that question because I've explained how it's quite the preposterous one. So thank you, Wes, for being a member and asking that. Rob Cook says, love the tree airdrop. Great idea to get eyes on this Christmas time. And again, how many active daily wallets are they going to go in and get today? Because everyone's like, oh, they're talking about it. Dude, I love Ben so much. Ben is Bay. Uncle says, yellow stripe, smile, popcorn, meow, 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 meow. Croner says, hey, Randy. Yo, what up, Croner? How's it going, fam? Meow, meow, meow. Echo 712 says, I don't think it's Disney. I kind of think USPS licenses is the issue for self-custody. I guess I don't know if they would want to go in and say like, hey, we're rolling out self-custody for these and not for these. Maybe you would want to do it all at once. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Like, could it be one or the other? Maybe is it like 2 or 3 licenses holding up the whole thing? I don't know. It's a good question though. Good question. Sam says, is OMI working to get an American exchange like Coinbase or Crypto.com? I hope so, man. I hope so. Let me take a swig of water here real quick. That's what you want. You want an American exchange. I'm not going to say that it doesn't matter as a Coinbase, Crypto.com, like whatever. Like at the end, I remember in like, I don't know why I remember in like 5th or 6th grade, I'm at my friend David's house, and the subject of like school dances come up, and in like 6th grade, you get to go to like a school dance, right? And his mom says like, oh, who are you going to ask to, like, the school dance, like, of this year, next year, whatever it was. And he goes just like, I'll take what I can get. And it was just the funniest thing. I was like, yeah, that's even at that time, it was funny. Um, in that same breath, I'll say, like, do we want Coinbase? Do we want the bombshell 10 out of 10 exchange? Absolutely. Will we take the 7 out of 10 crypto.com? Yes. If there's another American exchange that is like a 4 out of 10, will we take that? Sure, we'll take that too. Um, I'll take what they can give us right now. I don't know the types of I don't know the process that would have to be for that type of bigger exchange. The type of exchanges that I worked with before were like a Mexi, like BitGet, like these types of things. Yeah. Orange Bag Lady, hello, hello, hello. I love you so much, Orange Bag Lady. I love you, fam. Yeah, my man. But say we're gonna. I imagine they are. I can't imagine that they're just sitting on their thumbs and they're just, you know, not working. Like, if the two scenarios are they're working on it or they're not, I'm going to say they're working on some type of exchange. When does that happen? I don't know. Does it have to do with the court case? Does that have to be over with? These are all great questions. I wish I knew. I wish they would have the ability to be more transparent. I imagine any type of thing that I imagine they want to talk about all of this. But like I said about in that Definity AMA the other day, there's things that you want to talk about and there's things that you can talk about. The CEO talking about the token, you have to do it very carefully and tactfully. You can't just go and be like, guys, we're working on these exchanges. And when we get them, OMI will be like half a penny. OMI will be 1 cent. I'll be surprised if it's not 2 cents. Like, you can't say that as a CEO or co-CEO or, like, anywhere. Could I say that as someone that doesn't work for the company? Absolutely. I could speculate all I want. But again, until we get them, or until we, again, in the two scenarios, one where we're working on it and one where the team is not, I'd like to think that they are. So I'm going to say yes, I hope, with like 70%, not confirmation, but 70% sure rate. Love you, Orange Bag Lady. Sketch Lab says, I think Ben put it best that VeVe is in the digital collectible space that just so happens to be using blockchain tech. So they can be considered NFTs. They are promoted as digital collectibles. They were the ones that had they were literally the ones that, like, kind of coined that term. Also, I forgot to do this. I have to shout out my boys Reagan and Ernie, and I gotta go in and text my friend Nikki because she was being a little saying like, "Oh, Orange are taking over Columbus," and I'm gonna, oh shoot, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna reply, and I'm gonna be like, "Ohio girl," be like, "Ohio rules." Okay, I'm gonna go over there, and hopefully she's mad. Hopefully she's salty. All right, now where was I? Then put best views into the collectible space. Yeah, agreed. It's a great line. It's a great line. So while they can be considered NFTs, promoted as digital collectibles. Paraphrasing from video. Agreed. Chuck and Hank says, "OMI to the moon 2025." Yeah, I think so too. What is the time frame on it? Really depends when the narrative hits. I pay attention to the NFT space more than I pay attention to any other space, but I do pay attention to other spaces. It does seem like the NFT narrative is going to be the next one to go. Maybe I'm wrong and it's gaming. Maybe it's DeFi. Maybe it's DeFi. Maybe decentralized science just rips out from the yin yang, rips out from the get go, and then Mudo and their DNA token doesn't matter. I have Flow for digital collectible. Well, I've only for digital collectible as well. I have Illuvium for gaming. Got Devi for, oh my God, Devi is so freaking undervalued. Not financial advice, not financial advisor. I mean, not your guys' financial advisor. Let's go over what we're going over here. Let's do some Definity, seeing where they're at. pretty flat on the day, up about 1%, 4.2 cents. Let's go to Devi. That's one of the favorite things to check out. Down about 2.5% today to 78 cents. Remember like 3 months ago when they were 14 cents? Good times. Alluvium, Alluvium's been getting pummeled. Like they were down at like $30. They were up to like $70. Now they're back down to 41. So it has not been a good couple of days for Alluvium. Then we have, let's see the flow. Closed down again. Was it 70 cents, almost 71 cents. So there's a lot of stuff that I and again, I have other things as well, but so I should be covered for anything that does run. I have DNA tokens as well. I have meme coins continue to run. I have Crappy Bird. I have the cat, obviously. Yeah, so I would say these types of things. If it's NFTs and they go flow and OMI, just go insane. And I'll sell a whole bunch of flow. I'll dollar cost average into Alluvium, Definity, and obviously if OMI's running, and dude, it's gonna be insane. But I could be wrong. Like I said, it could be the what do you call it? It could be the other narratives that run beforehand. So we'll see. NumPy guys, hi Randy. Do you see OMI still going to 5 cents? All this drama with the token. Thank you. Yeah, like 5 cents, like 3 to 5 cents is kind of my base case. You have a bear case scenario where it goes from 0.008 to 1.3 cents. But my base case is 3 to 5. Bull case is 8 to 10, and then there's a golden goose case where it gets crazy. But yeah, that's kind of my purview there. After losing BitGet Exchange, they have a plan to get OMI on more American exchanges. Well, BitGet's not an American exchange, but I hope they are. Again, in that scenario, they either are or they're not. I'm going to bet that they're trying. So we'll see. Sketchhouse says, I think to keep active users, they should expand and improve the social community aspect, give more things to do. VeVe is certainly an aspect of that. Yeah. Again, the app is fun when people are making money, as was Earth 2, as is anything. For stuff to do, when people are making money and you decide, hey, where am I going to allocate this capital? Where am I going to have the best ROI? And they're constantly looking at the app. Token users, I'd say like one of the best ways to market the app would really be the token. And I'm sure they're working on that. But also it's just as more users get on here and as you kind of, pump up those prices, that's when you'll get more activity. And that's when you get more stuff to do. Again, VeVeverse will be great as well. So yeah, agreed. Great Sketch Lab. Boston Brad 617 says, OMI going to be my homie again? I think it will. My perspective. As OMI, yeah. So just be advised, guys. I go over the comments in the order in which I receive them. And obviously I talked for like an hour today before I even got to the comments. Oh, still 40 minutes behind. So if I see you commented it more than once, I'll just be like, hey, answered you before. As I answered Sam like 6 times by now. So glad it says on Twitter, someone said David was selling tokens, said it was his leaked wallet. Not sure if that is true. I'm going to say fudders like to FUD, and I don't see any reason David would really be selling. So I'm going to say it's false. Yeah. Yeah, just going to say that's false. But again, haven't really looked at it. I don't see any reason why he would sell right now. Yvette says, a guy who's talking about how VeVe is dead did make a video in the past about how he sold real comics for VeVe Comics. I guess not a chance. Oh, did he really? Huh. That's interesting. Take a picture of that. I'll bring that up. I'll be like, hey, apparently, is this true? Did you sell real comics for VeVe Comics? What? How did? Yeah, that'll be curious. I'll curious. I'll ask him about that. Incorrigible Ghost Slayer says, good evening, Chubby Cat. I'm drinking same Brothers Bound bourbon and hanging out with ex pseudo girlfriend while watching you. Veteran problems. Oh, dude, I wanna toast to that, but I haven't drank in a while, so I'm gonna keep that going for a bit. I'll keep it going. I want to, but I don't know, for like a big super chat, I would. But cheers to you though, for it sounds like you're living a good life. I was say it's a private company, don't even know the revenues. Are we talking about VeVe? Because we're pretty confident of the revenues. Like, I mean, we at least know what they gross. And what they gross is a lot. But by all means, if you don't want to calculate what they're grossing, like we can, like we do all the time on the channel, people do it over on X. They make a lot. Protocol says, don't move to the rich port. We will miss you every day. I mean, I'll be here for as long as it's still fun. I'll be here for as long as you have. I'll be here as long as as long as it's still fun. As long as you guys still want me and you're not getting tired of me. Oh, okay, all right. Well, since you said, yeah, break out this Miller Lite and cheers, mate. Oh my God, that felt so good. Oh yes, dude. I don't know what it is. When somebody says like, yeah, like I'm perfectly fine on my own, not drinking, doing whatever. But then as soon as somebody says like, yeah, you want to get fucked up, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I was having a conversation the other day about comics. I forget who it was with, and we were just like, just talking about comics and saying like, hey, what do you like to do when like you read them? Do you like put on some music? Do you have some like hot cocoa? And like when I was a kid, like, so what I would really like to do, or what I've done in the past, is like, okay, I'm going to read this run of like Deadpool, and you buy like 50 issues of Deadpool, and you have like when I was younger, order some Taco Bell, have some chocolate milk. Back when you're a teenager, you can eat Taco Bell and chocolate milk and not have to poop crazy amounts. Now as an adult, I don't think I don't think that would work. Um, but but yeah, it would be like chocolate milk and Taco Bell, and then reading these comics. And now, what I really like to do, like if I'm going to read those, like if I'm going to read a certain type of like, let's say I get into Secret Wars, or I get into Civil War, or like any type of runs where things are, I have a little bit of comics in front of me, and I can go deep down the rabbit hole. I like a tall glass of whiskey, and I like to just really get into the characters. I like to put my phone down, and I like to really get into the characters, and I like to go and say like, this is great, this is beautiful. And because a lot of times when you read it like on your cell phone, it's fun. You can still read the comics on your cell phone or your tablet, and that's fine. But you see the text messages, you see the Snapchats that come in. Who is this? Megan. Um, you see you get the notifications, and it kind of takes you out of it. And that's what I really do like with the physical comics, is I just put the phone down, and the phone hasn't really. Maybe I can get another phone that I just have that in, and it's not. I mean, I have a couple phones anyway, but you know what I mean. Um, anyway, thank you for the super chat. Gotta love you, Goat Slayer. Where was I? Yeah, I'll be around. I'll be around. Middle Nose says, you said you would sell all your collectibles if no new exchanges by Q2 of this year. I don't know if I said I'd sell all my collectibles, but we did have 2 exchanges that we got by Q2 of this year. We got Mexi and we got BitGet. Like, we got that like right away. And I think I made another, what's that called? I had made another post not too long ago. Pags had requoted that, saying like, yo, Chavez, you see in the light, you exiting out of VeVe. Because I had said that it was a response to Jeremy Padower, and I was saying, hey, if VeVe doesn't get on any new exchange, by the end of Q1, I'll sell 90% of my collectibles. Obviously, I'd keep my Alligator Lokis, I'd keep my Marvel Mighties. Maybe it would have to be 80%, whatever it is. And I thought that people would assume correctly that I would sell that for OMI, but they didn't. They're like, yo, Randy's gonna like exit. He's gonna exit the game. He's gonna stop making content. Like, he's out. And I was like, so I had to come on and I had to say like, hey, I'd be selling that so I could buy more OMI. And that wasn't like an excuse or anything. That was like well, either they're going to get exchanges or they're not. And I'm pretty convinced that they are. And if they don't have exchanges by the end of Q1, then clearly they're going to get them in Q2. So I would sell my collectibles for that. And then, of course, we got Renegade listed on like 5 exchanges. So, of course, that's out. I do not believe that was not. I'm going to say that was not proven to be David's. Price doesn't matter. Said the price would never go below. I don't think I said that. I had said I doubt it would go below the 001s because of like, well, at 0009, that's like, well, then a bunch of my whales would buy, and they did. And then at the 0007s, they did, and then so we're still buying. So the price will do what it does, and when I say it doesn't matter because like we're not concerned about where the price goes in the short term. We are because we'll stack more, but we're not going to say that, oh man, the price is lower than I thought it would ever go. Now we're going to have to start second guessing the company. That's silly. That is just a ludicrous statement, because as long as the company is continuing to do what it does, it continues to build, it continues to make revenue, and it continues to go in and add more people all the time, which it's doing, add more licenses all the time, which it's doing. The price doesn't matter for that reason. Like, will it matter because if it reaches a certain amount, we'll go in and buy more? Yes, it matters for that reason. But I feel like people are smart enough to know the difference when I say that. I was asked the trip investment you made, anything recent? Not really. I don't know if it does this or not, where it only makes me kind of focus on one thing at once. Now, obviously, you could take it for a party, you could take it to listen to music, and you could take it for investments. I guess the last time it was ever any type of investment related stuff, it was almost 2 years ago. It was like January of last year of 23, and it was about AR. And that was it. And it's like, okay, we're going to be rich as heck. But that was pretty much it. So that there hasn't been anything recent where I was like, oh, okay, this is a really good idea. Let's put money into that. Going to a Florida Panthers game channel. Are you? Meet up on the 23rd, because why the F not? Chavez Cat, get your ass to MegaCon with VeVe. So let me take a picture of this, because I've gone to MegaCon before. I think 2014. And it was fun. It was great. I love that type of stuff, but it was, it's kind of far. I'll say this: in 2026, we'll have RandyCon. We'll have, if VeVe doesn't want to go to a certain place, I'll bring VeVe. VeVe was not officially in Vegas. We brought the party to Vegas. Like, it was an unofficial official VeVe party where a lot of us was there, absolutely just having the time of our lives. Pretty fun. And part of it is, yeah, go wild, some of us, but also it's just the company, it's the people. So I'll say this: where if VeVe is not at MegaCon in 2026, then I'll bring the party there. Quote that. But for next year, it's too early for me to go in and say like, hey, let's do it now, because those funds could be going into more OMI. It could be going into more Devi, more Definity, more Luvi, more Flow. So I'm kind of in relative hermit mode right now. So yeah. Brad G says, Randy, when is your limit date for losing hope for OMI? April, May 2025. So it has nothing to do with really like a date. It's just, does the company, are they firing people or hiring people? And if they are firing people, is it subtraction or is it addition by subtraction, where they're cutting dead weight? So there's lots of ways to think about it. What would make me go and kind of second guess or rethink this investment would be if David were to sell his entire share of the company, including the OMI tokens, or if Ben were to go in and say like, hey, I tried, I came to VeVe because it was a challenge and the challenge was too great, I cannot help them, and he resigns. Those things would be like, okay, what's really going on back there? If either of those two things happened, that would throw up a alarm. I'd be like, okay, we need to get to the bottom of this. Now, selling a piece of the company is something that I would want them to do. Raise a bunch of money, scale appropriately, and use, like, again, I don't know the type of people that they have now as far as who's doing all the coding, who's doing all their devs. But a lot of companies nowadays, they'll go in and they'll hire 2 or 3 people from from a FAANG company, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and they'll say, okay, we're going to give you your own teams. The teams will be from India, they'll be from the Philippines, they'll be from wherever. You're going to head them. You're going to use Copilot as like a 2 or 3x lever, and that's how it's going to be. You're going to get your own teams, and this is what you're going to do. I don't know if they were able to raise $100 million, if that's their priority, or if it would be something else. It would be like acquiring you could by all means go in and put a benefits package together for influencers and be like, hey, this is what you're going to get, this is what you're going to do, but you have to do this, X, Y, and Z. Or if they could at one point just buy a content creation company. Like if VeVe wanted to go in and buy like 10% of my, like 20% of my channel, I don't even think I can, because the deal I have with Sanjay, with Mr. MC1, is that I actually can't sell any more of my channel unless it's to him. So I'm sure if they wanted to do that, he would be okay with it. So if they were to go and say like, hey, Randy, we know you have sponsors from Dfinity, Mudo, Figpin, Crappy, Moon, links down below. He's like, but we're gonna buy 20% of your channel, and you're only going to cover VeVe and OMI. They would have to make me a big offer, but they could do it. Like they could do, like, if you raise $100 million, you could do whatever the fudge you want. And they could do that for other people as well. Be like, in this contract, you're only allowed to do X, Y, and Z, and they could buy a content creation company. So again, the only things that, and even if David's been at this for like 7 years, almost 8 years. I assume like he can't do this forever. The type of stress that he's under, the type of like, this has a shelf life. I lasted what, 4 years? Like I lasted like longer in the military than I did like as a CEO. And I could have just given up one company and done the other, but I gave up both because it was very stressful, and I didn't have 100 something employees. I just had like the work. So for David to do this for 7 years on this type of company, growing, scaling, dealing with as many things as he has to, even if he were to sell and like step away as CEO, I wouldn't automatically be like, hey, that's a red flag. It would be an issue if like, okay, does he get rid of his OMI as well? And does he do it right now? I doubt it. Again, he's having fun. He's going to continue having fun. As stressful as it is a really positive journey. So it would depend on that. So like I said, those two things, read into that what you will, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Cardinal said, OMI will go with Bitcoin. Never not believe coming from the VeVe side. Yeah, agreed. Same here. It seems that OMI has been moving with Bitcoin the last week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever. Excuse me. Yeah. Come on. So this guy, well, I guess I won't. Well, he has his name on there, the comic investor guy. In like the link that he has down in his videos, he has like his email. I won't dox him completely, but it's just I won't even say his name if he doesn't want me to. But I hope he comes on. I think that'd be good. Abeluvian for gaming 2, Randy. Oh, my man. Get that bread. Yeah. Where OMI goes is gonna be nuts after Bitcoin does its thing. I think Bitcoin goes to 250. Blow off top. Illuvium for gaming. Yeah, Illuvium's going to go nuts. Carter goes, there's 420 gating like a mother. Let's freaking go. Senior Chubby Cat. F the haters. 420 gating like a mother. My man. I don't really partake in the 420 stuff. The 420 stuff is fine. The smoking doesn't do much, but the edibles just knock the crap out of me, and I'm just like not a person. So I kind of stay away. But appreciate the cheers. Yeah. Mahalo Joe saying he always has a negative take on VeVe. I highly doubt Comic Investments channel bought anything on VeVe. He did mention VeVe Fox Analytics on his video. So I haven't. VeVe Fox is great for analytics. She's awesome. I love her. She's been on the podcast as well. She's super great. Again, I don't know what he's done on the VeVe side. If anything, maybe he bought some to like check it out and then immediately sold. Maybe he regretted it, whatever. But again, I'd like to know. Again, we can argue about the reality in which the world is going to all day long. Because again, he could even use my own statement against me. Like, Randy, you said yourself that you prefer to read comics like in your hand with a glass of whiskey, and and it's distracting reading on your phone. It's like, yes, that's my own preference, but I understand that most other people don't do that. And most other people, like I've seen it for like the past decade. Like before I went into the military, kids would go in, and they would go in and they'd say, "Hey, get this. They'll buy this comic, and they'll download the QR code so they could read it on their phone while they have the comic. Like they have the physical comic, but they read it on their phones." So I mean, we could argue about that all day, but it's going to be easier to see like where he's coming from if I know, hey, what do you like as a person? What do you do for fun? What do you find beautiful? What do you find funny? What do you find like? And this way we go in and we get to the bottom of that, and then I can kind of be like, okay, I see why you think this X, Y, and Z. So yeah, card will says, cheers, my dude. Yeah, really on that, I'm okay until someone says the magical words that is game over. It do be game over, fam. It really, it really do. What are we at here? Chris Knight says, love that you keep it real, Randy Chavez. Keep being you. Thank you, Mr. Knight. Whiskey, I'll have to send you a good bottle, dude. So if you've ever been to Whiskey Fest in New York City, I went, I think like 2 years ago, a couple of friends, and there was a running joke of the night how the rest of the men that I was with, the rest of the boys group, the rest of the men I was with say like, Randy, we like 20-year-old women and 40-year-old whiskey, and you like 40-year-old whiskey and 20-year-old women. Or like you like 40-year-old women and 20-year-old whiskey. I was like, yeah. I had whiskey from bottles that were like $2,000 bottles. And don't get me wrong, they were good. But I like peanut butter whiskey. Now, don't get me wrong, I like for a good whiskey, for me, I like Johnny Walker Blue, $200 bottle. Very nice. But I love peanut butter whiskey. About cheap stuff, Tennessee honey whiskey is fine. Jim Beam is fine, but the peanut butter, like, and that's like a $20, $30 bottle. Maybe 40. 40 if you get a big bottle. But then yeah, Johnny Walker Blue is so good. So I've had some really good Glenlivet as well, and it's okay. But yeah, Johnny Walker Blue is like so good. That is like favorite. Cards will go. So I'm respectfully envious that you've got the cojones to get tattooed what I would want as a piece. Too afraid of artists messing up or myself moving because the error on such iconic IP pieces. Oh, I mean, like people have. I mean, if people haven't seen them, I'm sure they have. But there's 340 people here, so there's a decent chance that one of y'all hasn't seen. Oh man, I have to go in and I have to. I have to start stripping. 264. 264. 264. They're gonna have to see here. Donkey Kong throwing the Pokeball is one of my all-time favorites. Obviously, you have the Triforce, you have Paper Mario, you have Yoshi, you have Kirby, you have Star Fox over there. Those are like the big Nintendo. Is that what you mean? I have a what's that called? A anti-demon possession tattoo over there. You can't really see it, but I got a Royal Saiyan crest from Vegeta down there. I have a quote from Fight Club in my friend Patty's handwriting saying, "May I never be perfect." And then I have a Year of the Horse tattoo because that's the year I was born, the Year of the Horse. It is going to be the Year of the Horse in another 2 years, and I cannot wait. It is a little chilly down here, but yeah, I'm part of Ghost Slayer. Thank you. I will get more tattoos. Honestly, if somebody wants to go and pay me money to get tattoos, I will do it. Any meme community, anyone wants to go and give me a couple grand to go in and get some tattoos, do it. Ben says, morning all, just arrived. What are you putting on your Christmas tree? I'm going to plead the fifth on that. I don't have a ton of, I mean, I was never really a big Christmas fan, but thank you, VeVe Ben, for being a member. My Christmas tree, if I had, it'd be Pokemon stuff. It'd be nerd stuff, you know, that type of stuff. Portugal says, good morning, VeVe Ben. I have a tree decked out Nightmare Before Christmas. Need that Jack Skellington, Sally Stitches, Zero, and Mr. Oogie Boogie on VeVe. Oh, that's so cool. Love that. Ace Rig Move says, good morning, Randy. Oh, good morning, Ace Rig Move. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing fun. Hope you have good times ahead of you. Chris Knight says, the company isn't going anywhere. We bought in at the beginning. OMI has always been a long-term investment for me. Yeah, same here. Same here. Meow, meow, meow. Andrew Detox saying, nothing wrong with OMI. It's still not our turn. I'd argue altcoin season still hasn't started yet. I mean, OMI will have its day. When is its day? I don't know. Oh, whoa, I got a lot of notifications here. Friend, I hope. Other friend, yeah, definitely crypto. Okay, yep. Sketch Labs with users could mean those that are interested in making money aspect. Agreed. But users could also mean those interested just in collecting and having fun in the app. Yeah, agreed. And that's a lot of times is just fun. Like it's fun going for the drop. It's fun gambling. And it's also fun like when you're doing it with your friends too. It's like, well, yeah, you got to like spend money. Like, well, what do you do when you go out to a bar? What do you do when you get a burger? What do you do when you go to a baseball game? Like my friends are at the Ohio State game right now. And it's like, well, yeah, you have to spend money doing anything. You like, could you sit at home and watch Pokemon? Absolutely. Love that. Love sitting at home watching Pokemon, playing video games. But you got to live life. Like, where's Neil deGrasse Tyson has a famous quote saying like, all these people that are in Congress, they're lawman, businessman, lawman. Where are the teachers? Where are the scientists? Where's the rest of life? Again, I love playing video games. I love reading comic books. I love watching Pokemon. I love watching anime. But there's more to life than just that. You have to go out and you have to be with it. And maybe I'm a little bit of an extrovert. Now, again, because I was sick, because my back has been hecked, I have not left this house in weeks. That's a lie. The other day I had to take checks to someplace. But outside of that one thing, I haven't left this house in weeks. I've been fine with it. So I guess is that an ambivert, both introvert and extrovert? I have no problem being by myself for days, if not weeks at a time. But I also, I wasn't home for like 2 weeks because I went to Vegas and I slept not a lot with friends. And then I went to Colombia with friends. And it's just, like you have to be able to go outside and experience stuff. You have to go in and, I don't know, like it's, at the end of the day, like that's all you really have left. That's all you have is your stories. And I'd rather have lived a life doing awesome stuff, even if I had to spend money. And I know this is not what you're getting at. I'm just rambling here. Use could also mean those interests just in collecting. Yeah, agreed there. And over time, I'd like to see them continue to build on a ladder. Preach, preach. Yeah. Sketch labs, obviously, there needs to be a balance. Yeah, I sometimes though, like greatness comes from that imbalance. And I feel like I'm not arguing with you here. I love every comment that you post. But yeah, there does need to be balance, and that's healthy. How many artists are like healthy though? Like how many like people that create great things? Or I mean, if most people are not going to do that. Most people are try to achieve the general zen and the health, and that's awesome. But I feel like a lot of the people that do a lot of the risk, like I'm not healthy at all. Ability says, salute everyone. Happy Saturday. Meow, meow, meow. Flippy loves Evie says, O'Milly in the house. VeVe influencer. Cheers. Just Knight's laughing. Yeah. Yeah. Good times at Whiskey Fest. Should come. Cardinal says, 40-year-old women, 20-year-old whiskey. Bourbon is where is that. Maybe 50-year-old women. Me and Randy gonna slay when he makes his way down to Orlando and convention scene, bro. That's been my like I've dated I think like two or three women in their 20s in the last 15 years. I'm 34 now, so yeah, 15 years. The rest have been 30s and 40s and one or two in their 50s. I love that. And recently, I had a nice 30-something-year-old, and she would get my pop culture references, and was nice. But yeah, a lot of times, really, when you're like 21, women in the 30s, and they're like 15 years old, but now in their 30s, it's like they're young. They're like my age. I don't know if I'd ever date another. I mean, it depends on like life experience. Like you could have like a 40-year-old that's like never left their hometown, that just kind of stayed there and doesn't really have life experience. Or you could have like a 25-year-old that's been in the military, it's college educated, they've been working. Maybe they're not college educated, but they're smart and they've been working, and they've traveled the world. And it's like I would have no problem dating a 25-year-old that had that. Where I would have a problem dating that 40-year-old that kind of never really left their hometown. But for the most part, it's generally the longer you live, the more life you kind of experience. And when you're younger, you tend to not have that. But yeah, anyway, let's check on the Ohio State game, shall we? Let's say Ohio State game. It is first to know. Ohio State's winning 21-10. Is it the third quarter? Third quarter? Oh God, I'm dying. Oh, it's second quarter, but it's about to end. I just heard. The reason I checked is because I heard movement upstairs, and I was like, are they back? But there's no way. There's no way they're back. Chris Knight says bourbon and rye only. Jazz, WLW, McKenna, tenure all day, barrel proof, Elijah. Ooh, moon credits. So moon credit. I mean, let's see how. Let's see. Let's go to a Telegram chat that I have. What the heck is it? Let's type in. Sorry, I'll be like, how much would you offer for me to get a moon credits tattoo? And we'll see. Sketchlab says, I was always a rum guy. Back in my day, I used to drink Old English. These days, though, I don't drink anymore. I like Old English. I like a lot of stuff. I feel like Wolverine. Like I just really like beer. Bucky, Buck, how's it going, fam? Yeah. We'll see if they answer. Hey Randy, I live 20 miles from where they make Johnny Walker whiskey. My favorite is Black Label, smooth as honey. Red and black are fine. I don't know if I've ever had green. The gold is cool. I will say this though. Maybe like 6 years ago, they had something called It was a Game of Thrones thing collab that they had, and they had a Johnny White Walker. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I got to get this. And I got it. It was trash. Again, blue is my favorite. Green, I don't think I've ever tried. The gold is good. I like the black and red. Yeah. So that's my labels. Again, I haven't tried the green. We'll see. Millie T says PO. PM? Like, person, did you mess with me? PO? What is PO? What is PO? Who this? What interests you? Oh, hi, OMI Queen. Oh.
Thank you for that, and I would like to reserve the time I have remaining for rebuttal.
Oh. This is a Hable versus Gadenzi case.
Thank you. May it please the court. My name is Emily Garrick, and I am representing Patrick Hobble, the plaintiff appellant.
Oh, it's Hobble.
And unless this court would prefer that I begin elsewhere, I'd like to start by discussing the pleadings.
Let me pause that real quick, and let me go and be like, "Ooh, nice find." Thank you. And let me go in and message a buddy of mine. Yeah. Someone sent me this. I'd rather not because it's lengthy. Let me know if you want me to. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, there we go. All right, cool beans. Thanks. All right. Now, also, while I have the YouTube up and I go in and talk to people about the YouTube. Again, y'all can smash that like button. It's a free way to help support the channel. Not free ways. Patreon special super thanks. One below super chats as well. Love y'all. I'm so excited. I agree. Greatness can come from a little bit of a crazy side, a bit of the imbalance. I get you. Glad to see you feel me. Glad to see you feel me. I don't know. Wait a tick. Wait a tick. Hold on. I have to see something here real quick. Not anything that I think would be okay. Feel like where node owners get reoccurring rewards for being a part of the network. Could VeVe or OMI implement something like this? I mean, they don't have it for nodes. They have it for staking VeVe or locking it up. You get MCP points, you get bronze tickets, you get that type of stuff. So I mean, those types of things are cool. Could VeVe do this, or will they do this? I would not like them to get more OMI because like where that OMI has to come from someplace. So I would not like that. But I would like some type of rewards, which again, I think we kind of already have. Does it really matter if VeVe keeps dropping IP if they don't get more users? Oh, Wes, if in case you weren't listening before, VeVe has 5.5x their logged in users since September. So they're clearly growing. Moiti says, OMI to Coinbase. That'd be great if we could get that. So again, there's a lot of potential exchanges that you could get. Obviously, Coinbase is the one you would want the most because that you need an American exchange. And need an American exchange that's easy to use, that people know, they trust, they have access to. Coinbase checks off all those boxes. The odds of getting them, though, at least right away, I would think that, again, they could do it one of two ways. They could blast off at Coinbase first, and then others renegade lists. It's easier to get on others. Or they go and they say, hey, let's roll out these one or two exchanges here in Q1. Get a couple pumps from them. Because at least, getting more exchanges, even if they're not American, it's like, okay, get those. And then in Q2, we have another one or two. And let's say they're bigger. And it's like, okay, we can do this. And they can say, we'll get a little bit of a pump from that as well. Pump from IPs, from narrative. And then maybe Coinbase goes last. So like Coinbase is like, okay, at that time, you have all these, you're good, you're growing, fine. Or like I said, you can have VeVeVerse launch, you could have affiliate marketing launch, you could have Stacker launch, and you could have some, let's say if the first thing that they have is Coinbase. Guys, I don't think the first thing that they have is going to be Coinbase. That's just my opinion. I could be dead wrong on that. But they could have that, and then we just absolutely blast off when that narrative hits. Like Team Rocket blasting off again, it would be nuts. Alleged was what? Sorry. Here's some things that I've seen from people. People have been posting about various things as far as crypto. I don't know anything about these companies or about these tokens. They could be rug pulls. It's just what I see come across my desk. Molly. Molly Coin CTOs, community takeover, Molly the Elephant. That's something that I've seen come across my desk. Axie, but not Axie Infinity. It is, where is Maya here? She told me about it. Axie Arena. They have like 12,000 followers now. I think they had a $3 million market cap. I don't know if they, let's see where we're at here. It's on Sol, on Solana. Yeah, $3 million market cap. That about 6% today, but that apparently they have some different engineers from different places. That again, I don't know these people. They're not, what do you call it? They're not paying me for this. It's just things that I see. People that do sponsor the channel, again, Crappy down below and Moon down below. Let's see what else we have. Obviously, Decat. Meow, meow, meow. That's right. They're saying bye to cat. You gotta love it. We'll say meow. You're getting me hot, Sherry. Want what you got all over me. Then you have, let's see what else we got here. I'm just going through the Twitter feed and seeing what we have. Minister accused of $5 billion anti-corruption. Jesus. Mario Nawfal's roundtable says Doge can the meme king reclaim its throne? After weeks of bleeding, Doge bounced 11%, sparking hope for a comeback, but the game has changed. Retail interest is fading while whales keep stacking. The RSI shows Doge might be oversold, opening a window for a dip to buy rally, yet hitting 50 cents again won't come easy. It'll take Bitcoin momentum, fresh retail hype, and a break from the whale-driven manipulation. Without that trifecta, risk says sky high. Let's take a look at the top 10. Let's see what they're doing. Again, the whole market is down. I wouldn't just single out Doge. I would say the entire market is just taking a giant dump. Bitcoin at 96,000. It was at 108 the other day. It was like 108 less than a week ago. Hiccup. So Doge is still the number 7 crypto out there. And I get that, it was like 40 something cents. It's now 31 cents, down 20%. It's still a $46 billion market cap. It's still freaking huge. There's nothing in the top 10 that's green. There's nothing in like the top there. None of this is green. Yeah, it's bananas. So that'll change at some point. When, I don't know, probably after Trump gets in. I am not going to go over that. There's Matt Wallace, a little weird. So there's somebody talking about beans. Beans is I don't even know what they are, but people are talking. Oh, is this that guy that had the unicorn fart dust or whatever? Then the fuel of UFD. Yes, unicorn fart dust is beans. That's again, these are just things that come across my feed. I don't know any of these things. I don't like any of these things. Hey, Omar shouted out my my post. Shout out to you, Omar. Love you, fan. Oh, hey, there's O'Milly. What up, O'Milly? I see you over there. And Saturday night, we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. JKillXRP talking about the unicorn fart dust. Apparently, people have gone really insane with that, and people are making money. I am not in that group. VeVe going in and saying, I already did that. The first annual Christmas tree decorating contest this holiday season is upon us. It's that time of year for VeVe fam to celebrate and decorate. Show us your VeVe Xmas tree decorated in the comments below for a chance to win a VeVe digital collectible. 5 random winners will be drawn. Contest closes December 25th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Winners announced 27 December. You have Rudy, Name Coast going over there, and he's got a cool thing. We've got Elsa over there. It's pretty dope. Got Olaf. People talk about Tesla. Gotta love Tesla. I think that's really it. We'll go for another 20 seconds just to make it to the 2-hour mark. We're going to say thank you to Incorrigible Goat Slayer. Say thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to everyone. Meow, 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 meow. And then that'll be it. So let's do, what should we do for an outro song? Have Rose Tattoo stuck in my head. I like Dropkick Murphys, but I don't know if I'm in the mood. Puppies, that's cute. That's a Gilmore Girls reference. I don't know. Give me an outro song, guys. Someone comment down below, and I'll sing it. And in the meantime, I'll go over some other stuff I see on VeVe. There's a lot of unique users today. There's a lot of unique users today. 4,800 users today, more active because of the Christmas tree thing. That was great. They could do that literally like every month, every week, whatever. It doesn't really cost them that much, and their users just skyrocket. Their users just go absolutely insane when they do that. Let's start from the beginning. Not doing that. Evan just hit the wall. She never had it all. One Prozac a day. Say bye bye to Dashie. Went out the door when she turned 24.